Look y'all, with this new Nicki Minaj and Joe Budden interview making all of the waves, we gotta talk about this tea. Now, before we even get into this, we have to say Nicki Minaj is possibly the most underrated rapper of all time. In the sense that she has accomplished more success in sales, notoriety, influence, and consistent hit-making ability than any other rapper who is not, and we repeat, is not mentioned consistently in people's top 10. And yes, we tag sexism as part of the reason that Nicki is not mentioned in people's top 10 often. So by no means are we saying Nicki doesn't deserve her flowers. We are straight up Nicki Minaj fans, and as she often reminds us, she birthed basically every female rapper in the 21st century. Nicki has been the queen of rap since Obama's first term. However, we would be capping to y'all if we didn't point out that Nicki Minaj is also the woman's version of Kanye West. And what is Kanye West known for? His inability to see the consequences of his actions. Kanye is known for not seeing how many of his career difficulties are problems of his own making. We don't even need to get into the Pete Davidson and Kim thing as an example. Nicki Minaj has followed in Kanye's foot-in-mouth disease footsteps inasmuch as she seems unable to correlate her own decisions with her career difficulties. There may not be any rapper who has complained more about the non-existent hate that they get more than Mrs. Minaj, other than maybe Drake, which in itself says a lot. Exhibit A, check out this clip from the Nicki and Joe Budden interview when she discusses what it was like for her to come into the industry.
Or, and remember, social media was just beginning when I started. So I was like everybody, I was a lot of people's guinea pig. I was one of the first people to be on the internet, on social media, like non-stop. Every day I would go on, and it was some new story, made up story, or bad picture, or it wasn't acceptable to have surgery at all or anything.
Okay, let's stop the clip there. Nicki, we were around in the late 2000s and early 2010s when you came up. Nobody relevant was hating on you, boo. You were not only minted from day one by the at the time best rapper alive Lil Wayne, you pretty much came out of the game dropping smash after smash. Seriously, who the Fiznuck didn't like Super Bass? Who was hating on Moment for Life? Absolutely no one. You earned that. After a successful rise to stardom with your first album, you become an absolute global phenomenon with tracks like Starships, which while many of the core rap heads like Pete Rosenberg cringed a little bit at it. By the way, why on earth did you beef with that clown? Again, self-inflicted wound. You shouldn't even speak to a bald-head testicle-faced dude like that. That dude probably makes $1 million a year and yet is still listening to Wu-Tang cassettes and buys Champion hoodies at Target. He was literally the only person who actually hated on Starships, as opposed to just most of us wanted to hear them bars from Nicki. Anyway, Starships was an absolute generation-defining hit. You were on top of the world, and you were by that time the best-selling woman in rap history, not named Lauryn Hill. And yet here you are in this clip talking about you were the first person to get dookied on social media. Again, that's another Kanye moment, cause sorry boo-boo, even though you are a legend, to think you were the first person to have that effect on the multi-trillion-dollar social media industry is just narcissistic. And let's not even talk about the fact that your verse on Monster is considered possibly the best verse on an album that is considered the greatest rap album of all time. And you were the first voice heard on that album. Where is the hate, Nicki? Anyway, moving on, as your career matured, you crossed over successfully into Whiteland and starred on American Idol, you dropped lightweight classic The Pink Print, you did songs with Eminem, and then birthed an entire generation of new talented lady artists such as Doja Cat and yes, even Cardi B. Don't get it twisted y'all, Cardi B would not exist without Nicki Minaj. However, that's about the last thing we can say about their connection. After that, Nicki decided to shade Cardi for years rather than embrace her with open arms, leading up to a literal fight between them. Again, that's a self-inflicted wound. Nicki, as the undisputed queen, could have done tons of epic songs with Cardi and would have looked like a huge boss. Sort of like Kanye couldn't have not gotten in his feelings about Drake's success, and they could have done that joint album they always talked about. Now all we got was a semi-decent live stream concert between the two after they both damn near ruined their careers with a baby and a slavery comment. That concert was too little too late. Anyway, as it stands, Nicki and Cardi still have some weird energy, And let's not even talk about the hot and cold treatment Nicki has given Doja Cat, who would literally die for Nicki Minaj. Despite Doja being another superstar, having her own quirky style, and frankly singing better than Nicki, she has done nothing but big up the queen. And Nicki has been iffy over the course of their relationship, if that. In any case, this won't be the only video on the Nicki and Joe Budden interview, but wow, we just had to get this one off because from the very jump Nicki is talking about how much she gets hated on when literally for the last 10 plus years she has not only gotten a ton of love from men and women, black and white, young and old, but anytime she got into some beef she was half if not most of the problem. What's y'all opinion on this?